Ronaldo walked into this game as the favorite, the superstar, the guy who was supposed to make history. And DR Congo, a team that hadn't played a World Cup in 52 years, quietly dismantled him. Not with pace, not with skill, but with psychology. And by the end of the night, you could see it on his face. So this video is about what actually happened in that match beneath the surface. Not the tactics, not the stats, the mental game. Because DR Congo didn't just defend well. They ran a psychological operation on one of the greatest players who ever lived, and it worked almost perfectly. I've broken down exactly how they did it, and honestly, some of this stuff is going to change how you watch football forever. Let's start with the thing most people completely missed. DR Congo didn't come into this game as underdogs with nothing to lose. That framing is wrong. Their only previous World Cup was 1974, when they were Zaire, and it ended in humiliation. A 9-0 loss to Yugoslavia. A player famously ran out of the wall during a free kick and just hoofed the ball away. It became a global punchline. For 52 years, that image followed this country's football. So when these players stepped onto the pitch, they weren't relaxed. They were carrying 5 decades of shame, and they wanted to bury it. Redemption is one of the most powerful fuels in sport, and you could feel it in how disciplined they were all night. They weren't just playing for a result, they were playing to rewrite history. And that belief shaped everything about how they approached Ronaldo. Here's the thing about marking a superstar. The conventional wisdom is to put your best defender on him and follow him everywhere. DR Congo didn't do that. Instead, they starved him. They used their whole system to deny him the ball, to make him invisible. And in the first 45 minutes, it worked. Ronaldo barely touched it. Now, why does that matter so much? Because for a player like Ronaldo, whose entire identity is built around being the center of everything, being ignored is almost worse than being stopped. The less he sees the ball, the more isolated he feels. And isolated players do something predictable. They start drifting, chasing, dropping deep to find the game, which pulls them out of the dangerous positions, which makes them even less of a threat. DR Congo didn't need one man to stop Ronaldo. They erased him with a system. But here's where it gets even more interesting, because Ronaldo wasn't just dealing with one bad night. He came into this match 9 major tournament games without a goal. 9. For most players, a dry spell is frustrating. For Ronaldo, it's existential. His entire self-image, the reason he trains the way he does, the reason he's still playing at 41, is built on scoring. Every missed chance in those 9 games added another layer of psychological weight. And the brutal thing about pressure is that it's self-sustaining. It tightens the muscles you need to finish. It speeds up your thinking at exactly the moment you need to slow down. The drought wasn't just bad luck anymore. It had become part of how he was experiencing the game. So DR Congo handed the ball back to Portugal and let them have it. Portugal had 4 times the possession, and that actually helped Congo. This sounds backwards, but it's one of the most interesting psychological dynamics in football. When you dominate possession without making progress, what coaches call sterile domination, something shifts mentally. Every attack that DR Congo repelled built their belief. We can handle this. We can handle them. Meanwhile, Portugal's confidence was quietly draining with every dead end. Possession without penetration flips the mental momentum to the defending team. Portugal felt like they were in control, but DR Congo felt like they were winning. And then came the set piece. Wissa's goal, DR Congo's first ever in World Cup history, came from a set piece. And that's not random at all. Set pieces are the great equalizer. They're the one phase of the game where a lesser team can beat a giant on almost equal terms. Because you're not running at their defense or trying to outpass them. You're getting one clean moment. Underdogs know this. They pour belief into those moments. And when it went in, 52 years of waiting came out in one header. The timing made it even more devastating. Right before halftime, Portugal goes to the locker room rattled, questioning everything. DR Congo walks off buzzing, convinced the fairy tale is real. That 15-minute break didn't help Portugal reset. It gave them 15 minutes to stew in doubt. And they never got their rhythm back. Now here's the thing that ties all of this together. Portugal's whole identity bends around Ronaldo. He's 41, he's the icon, and the team still orbits him. And psychologically, that's a vulnerability, not a strength, because it means the opponent only has one problem to solve. DR Congo poured all of their mental energy into one target. When you're facing a team built around one player, you don't have to figure out 10 puzzles. You just have to figure out one. And Ronaldo, at 41 in what's almost certainly his last World Cup, still carries the mentality of the main character. The game is supposed to revolve around him. When it refused to, you could see it. The gestures, the complaints, dropping deep trying to find the ball. That gap between how the game should go and how it's actually going is one of the hardest things for any aging superstar to manage, and DR Congo exploited it from the first whistle to the last. So what actually happened here? DR Congo came in with 52 years of fuel, a system designed to make Ronaldo invisible, and the patience to let Portugal's sterile possession drain their own confidence. They scored at the perfect moment, and Portugal, for all their talent, were too easy to read because they were too easy to predict. If you want to understand football at this level, the psychology, the pressure, the mental chess behind the biggest matches, drop a comment below with which game you want me to break down next, because this stuff is everywhere once you know how to look for it. Subscribe if you haven't already, because the next one goes even deeper. And if you enjoyed this, there's a related video right here that you're genuinely going to want to watch.